Микрофон. Слышно, да?
Құрметті форумға қатысушылар, цифрлық қайта жаңғыру, жаңа жағдайға серпіліс пленарлық сессиясы бірнеше минуттан кейін басталады. Залдағы тыныштықты сақтау үшін телефондарыңызды дыбыссыз режиміне қоюды сұраймыз. Уважаемые участники форума, пленарная сессия «Цифровая перезагрузка. Рывок в новую реальность» начнется через несколько минут. Просим вас поставить телефоны на беззвучный режим. Құрметті форумға қатысушылар, бүгінгі цифрлық қайта жаңғыру, жаңа жағдайға серпіліс пленарлық сессиясының модераторы IDC вице-президенті Андрей Беклемишев мырзаны ортаға шақырамыз.
Dear participants of the forum, I'd like to welcome our moderator of the session, Andrei Beklemishev, Vice President, IDC.
Dear forum participants, please welcome to the stage the moderator of the plenary session Digital Resort, the leap to the next normal, Mr. Andrei Beklemishev, Vice President of IDC.
Қайырлы таң, ханымдар мен мырзалар. Құрметті қонақтар.
Good afternoon, dear participants, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished
Маған артқан сенімі үшін. Алғысымды
with viewers who watch our live broadcast. I'd like to express our gratitude to participate in this forum.
А сейчас, дамы и господа, для участия в пленарной сессии форума Digital Almaty 2021 я приглашаю глав правительств, а также уважаемых спикеров. Аскар Мамин, премьер-министр Республики Казахстан. Никол Пашинян,
And
премьер-министр
now,
Республики
ladies and
Армения.
gentlemen,
Роман
welcome to
Головченко,
our
премьер-министр
participants.
Республики Беларусь. Улугбек Марипов,
Andrei Beklemyshev, Vice President IDC,
Mikhail Mishustin,
Askar,
председатель
Prime Minister of
правительства
Republic of
Российской
Kazakhstan, Nikol Pashinyan, Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, Roman Golovchenko, Prime Minister of Belarus, Ulugбек Maripov, Prime Minister of Kyrgyzstan, Mikhail
Мавтадзе, сооснователь
Mishustin, Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Abdullah Aripov, Prime Minister of Uzbekistan, Mikhail Yasnikovich, Chairman of the Board of the Eurasian Economic Council,
Позвольте считать форум
Mikhail Almaty, co-founder of CEO
2021
Caspia,
открытым.
KZ, Alexander Mashkevich, Chairman of the
Хочу
Board
отдельно
of Directors.
глав
Welcome to the
за личное
Digital
участие в этом
Almaty
мероприятии, что
2021
еще раз
Forum.
подчеркивает исключительную важность цифровизации
I'd
для
like to thank
стран.
again
В связи с пандемией
the
коронавируса
participants,
цифровая
and I'd like to
трансформация по
open
всему
the
миру
forum.
только ускорилась.
And,
Так, по
I'd
данным
like to
компании IDC,
thank
ожидается,
separately
что
the heads of the government for their
65%
personal
мирового ВВП
participation.
будет оцифровано
Around
к
65% of the global GDP
Объем
to be
прямых
digitalized as early as 2022. Direct investments in digital transformation will be over 6.8 trillion USD by 2023. In the plenary session, we will have a look at how far the countries of the region have progressed in the process of digitalization of the economy in the new reality and discuss new challenges and opportunities with representatives of business community. In addition, we will hear the international experts on global trends and measures to strengthen international cooperation in a rapidly changing environment. Before we start our discussion, I suggest looking at digitalization trends in 2020, a year marked by the unprecedented scale and pace of digitalization transformation at the regional and global level. We have entered an era of change where the digital agenda has a key role to play. 10 years ago, only half of us used a laptop. Only one-third used the internet. Only 3% use smartphones. 10 years ago, none of us stored data in the cloud. The pace of the digitalization increased, but it was in 2013 that there was a sharp breakthrough. Communication infrastructure and internet access has become an integral part of everyday life and pierced all aspects of it. Not everyone was ready. A total reset is needed, rethinking of values, approaches, and priorities. Health, safety, and well-being of citizens remain priorities. According to PwC, 40% of companies in 67 countries reported an accelerated figure in Kazakhstan. More than 70% of citizens have smartphones. The largest banks of the internet platforms are growing rapidly. The latest technologies of digital services are being effectively introduced. In 5G, Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, and other digital services, the scale and pace of change are unprecedented. On behalf of the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, the government will ensure the high quality of Kazakhstan's chairmanship in the Eurasian Economic Union for an additional impetus to the development of multilateral Eurasian integration and building joint innovative systems of technological platforms. Competitive advantages of the region's economies and exchange of experience will make it possible to maximize the existing digital potential. Welcome to Digital World. Welcome to Digital Almaty Forum 2021.
Уважаемые дамы и господа,
Dear ladies and gentlemen, and now I would like to give a floor to the welcome speech to the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Mr. Kassym-Jomart Kemedovich Tokayev. Dear participants and guests of the Digital Almaty Forum, I'm pleased to welcome you to this important event for our country and the entire region. The forum was the first international event in Kazakhstan, held under the Forgotten Offline mode.
Среди участников
7 heads of government of the Eurasian Economic Commissions and the Executive Committee of the CIS are among the participants. Such an executive staff shows how important digital development issues have become in our countries. There is an opinion that the pandemic, despite its obvious negative effect on the health of citizens and the economy, has nevertheless become a powerful catalyst for progress in virtually all technological areas. Telemedicine has received a serious impetus to the development. Cloud technologies have reached a new level, and e-government services and platforms for distance learning are in wide demand. In Kazakhstan, for example, more than 90% of public services are already provided in electronic format. During the crisis, about 6.5 million people were supported by the state through digital systems. Schools and universities have moved to a distance online learning format. More than 15 million people in Kazakhstan are users of wireless internet. We are well aware that the figure belongs to the technology and innovation. The competition dynamics in this direction is very high. According to the analyst estimates, in 2021, the market of technical, technological, and software solutions aimed only at the development of artificial intelligence alone, wireless networks, compact computing systems, will grow by 35% and will amount to around 12 billion USD. Already by 2025, 5G technologies will allow enterprises to have data conventional processing of up to 70%. In such conditions, we need harmonization of approaches and overall coordination of activities in this sphere. Kazakhstan has identified the development of artificial intelligence and big data analysis technologies as one of the key priorities. The main focus is on creating a smart decision-making system, data-driven governments, whose capabilities will include the analysis of a large array of industry data, the big data analysis. This will build effective forecasting and risk prevention models, ensuring the maximum impact of the reforms carried out with minimum negative consequences for these purposes. To this end, a national cluster of artificial intelligence is being created within the facilities of Nazarbayev University together with the World Bank. Data processing centers are being created to efficiently process the increasing volumes of information. Within 5 years, we plan to attract around 500 billion KZT, or more than billion USD of investments to this area. Of course, we are inviting our partners in the Union and in the region to fully cooperate. In addition, this year, in the tech sphere, we are starting to introduce blockchain technology. It's encouraging that the tax authorities of Kazakhstan have established effective cooperation with their Russian colleagues on all issues of digitalization. The digitalization will also affect the national pharmaceuticals distribution system. It will ensure legal recognition of all basic documents in electronic format. Personal data protection will improve. The government services are developing not only towards the service development, but also towards proactivity and compatibility. Solving the problems of citizens in different situations. The effectiveness of our integration initiatives largely depends on the compatibility of national information systems and the possibility of digital information flow between members of the Eurasian Economic Union and their neighbors. However, the integration processes within our economic union need further development.
Здесь важна
A coordinated work of governments and the Commission are important here. It should be recognized that the growing digital opportunities impose the responsibility for their reasonable use.
авторитетные эксперты
Reputable experts talk a lot about the need to develop artificial intelligence in the legal framework to ensure the security and sustainable development of mankind. We are aware that the digitalization of industry will entail the release of a large portion of the workforce. This is a complex, socially significant issue, and no solution has yet been found. However, I'm confident that the new technologies will not deprive humanity of its living space, but, on the contrary, will open new, unique opportunities. I hope this topic will develop within the forum. I propose to consider the possibility of creating an intergovernmental educational initiative for school children and students in the field of new technologies and artificial intelligence. No doubt, during the forum, there will be many other promising ideas and constructive suggestions.
наметятся
There will be new outlines of mutually beneficial cooperation. Kazakhstan has identified a comprehensive digitalization and establishment of data exchange as a priority of its chairmanship in the Union. We intend to actively promote this agenda. We hope for productive cooperation with all countries, members of the Union. I wish you fruitful work and success.
Спасибо, господин президент.
Thank you, Mr. President.
19 продемонстрировал,
The pandemic COVID-19 demonstrated that no country in the world can beat the global challenges and address economical, social, and technological problems alone. Mobilization of the global leaders for common politics and agenda in this new comprehensive and complicated context is the new matters of the agenda on Davos summit that took place at the end of January in digital format. The World Economic Forum is one of the reputable world organizations that prepared forecasts and recommendations on how to ensure the sustainable recovery of economics of pandemic.
the next speaker, Mr. Borge Brende, President of the World Economic Forum.
Mr. President, Prime Ministers, Your Excellencies, dear participants, thank you for this opportunity. It's an honor to be part of Digital Almaty. I would like to start by saying this dialogue could not come at a more important moment. As we look toward a year we hope will bring recovery, the steps we take now will determine whether we exit the pandemic stronger than we entered it. When it comes to the economy, the World Bank projects that Europe and Central Asia will see growth this year, 3%, after an estimated contraction of 3% last year. Making sure that this growth is sustainable, equitable, can only happen if business and government work together. Multi-stakeholder partnerships are key to ensuring the foundations of our economies are purpose-built for the 21st century and can support greater and more inclusive opportunities for our societies. After a year filled with uncertainty, one thing is clear. Digital connectivity is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. Investment in digital infrastructure in some parts of the world allowed as many as 1 in 3 jobs in these areas to be done remotely during the pandemic. That helped a lot. And millions of students were able to maintain access to education through some online portals. But this is only half the story. While the COVID-19 pandemic saw some industries and economies take advantage of digital platforms, it also spotlighted digital divides. Currently, an estimated 3.6 billion people around the world are offline because of lack of affordable internet access or other challenges. This is unbelievable, and it will not be possible to leapfrog in economy without having access to the internet. In Central Asia, the UN estimates that 73% of people use the internet. That is really a promising figure to build on. But access to high-speed connectivity is often limited and costly, even in Central Asia. And disparities abound. While approximately 80% of the population in Kazakhstan is online, the rate drops to about 20% in other parts of the region. So Kazakhstan is a beacon here. So what should we do? Here I would like to touch on where we are seeing promise at the global level and in Kazakhstan. At the global level, last week at the World Economic Forum's Davos agenda, leading technology and financial companies, along with government entities, launched the Edison Alliance. This first-of-its-kind platform is working to foster affordable digital access for everyone by 2025. The ambitious agenda is possible because business and government are working side by side to identify gaps and scale initiatives. And here in Kazakhstan, the government and the Astana International Financial Center Authority recently signed a partnership with the World Economic Forum to open an affiliate center for the fourth industrial revolution in Nur-Sultan. We're very excited. The center will advance multi-stakeholder initiatives and play a key role in supporting the government develop protocols for creating a thriving digital ecosystem in the country, one that supports frontier technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, the Internet of Things, and also big data. Data is, in fact, the oxygen in our economy now. And if you want to succeed and be prosperous in the future, you really have to be on top of these technologies. With this new affiliated center and with its commitment to innovation, Kazakhstan is positioned to unlock the possibilities of the fourth industrial revolution and do so in a way that expands opportunities for citizens across the country and the region. Congratulations. I'm so heartened by the promising steps that have already been taken, and I'm so optimistic because of the dialogue taking place today. If we continue to come together, government, business, and civil society, I'm confident that we can shape a more digital, equitable, and prosperous future. I count on Kazakhstan and Central Asia in playing a very important role in also the digital transformation we need in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brende. Действительно, сложные...
Yeah, indeed. There are great challenges and initiatives that you have mentioned. I'm confident that will bring their fruits. If we are successful to do that, by 2025, there would be great. Last year, when all of us faced the pandemic and went online, we all created huge amounts of digital data together. And that's where data management issues at the country, regional, and even global level become very important. Who better can bring light to this topic than the man who helped to create Internet? They call him the father of the Internet. Ladies.
The next speaker, Dr. Vint Cerf, Vice President of Google.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to join you to discuss opportunities to advance the use of information and communications technologies for beneficial use by the citizens of Kazakhstan and the rest of the world. I've worked on the internet since its earliest beginnings, going back to the late 1960s to the present. The system was designed to be global in scope. and to be an open, transparent, and interoperable platform for innovation in the application of computers to the challenges of the 20th and 21st centuries. The global pandemic has highlighted the value and utility of the internet and the World Wide Web application, and has also shown a bright spotlight on weaknesses in its availability, affordability, capacity, and scope. It has focused my attention on solving the digital divide in its many manifestations: accessibility, utility, safety, security, reliability, and ease of use. It has demonstrated enormous value in accelerating the science that has led to the timely development of vaccines against the virus, which is raging across the world. This conference could not be undertaken without the internet's reach and capacity. We have learned from experience, however, that this powerful technology can be and is abused by parties with their own agendas. These unwelcome manifestations, as well as the overwhelming demonstrations of constructive utility, have motivated the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, to propose a program of digital cooperation and to appoint an envoy to undertake to implement the program with the cooperation of nation states, the technical community, civil society, the private sector, and academia in a multi-stakeholder initiative aimed at achieving many of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. I am looking forward to the interventions and discussions to follow with great interest. I expect to learn from the assembled participants their ideas for harnessing the potential of computers and other smart devices, global and local networks, and the ingenuity of the human mind, all aimed at improving social, economic, and environmental conditions that are under great stress from the ongoing pandemic and the threat of global climate change, among other challenges. We have the opportunity to do great good for the world's population, and most especially the citizens of Kazakhstan, by investing in the necessary infrastructure and promoting online application development for the benefit of the country and the region. Thank you for this brief opportunity to intervene, and thank you so much for organizing a notable and timely gathering to pursue these objectives together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Cerf. Благодарю вас, доктор Cerf, за выступление.
Thank you, Mr. Cerf, for your speech. In the new reality that the previous speakers described, digital technologies has become a critical enabler of business community and connecting people more than ever before. The sudden the possibility that we got connected, Dr. Cerf demonstrates that. The sudden increase in internet usage and surge in data consumption is putting a heavy strain on existing infrastructure, affecting the quality and speed of the internet. We also face growing challenges and threats in our use of digital technology, from cyber attacks and crime to misinformation, as well as growing privacy and data security concerns. 46% of the world's population, as was said, nearly 3.6 billion people still do not have access to the internet, and this problem has become ever more urgent. It will have a direct impact on missed social and economic opportunities and missed leading opportunities, as well as widening digital divides and inequality. Therefore, there is an important challenge for countries to ensure that the potential of digital technology is used effectively to improve citizens and businesses while reducing potential risks. And now, I'd like to give a floor to the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kazakhstan, to Askar Uzakbayevich Mamin.
Dear participants of the forum, allow me please to welcome everybody here in Almaty. The forum has become a very good tradition, which is can be regarded as a synchronization of watches in a dynamically changing digital world. It's combined with the first meeting of the Eurasian Intergovernmental Council in the year of the Digital Almaty Forum. It's a larger coalition to ensure high quality and efficient implementation of the EAEU digital agenda, development, implementation of digital technologies in our countries. So the agenda of the Digital Almaty Forum 2021 is dedicated to the discussion of the digital transformation and society in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. So this is one of the unprecedented acceleration in the pace of digitization in all the spheres of economy, has become one of the main factors in incentives that is developing, that is being witnessed here, and particularly accelerated adaptation of digital solutions by state institutions and transition to the online work format became a response to the need to provide the population with public services in the context of limited opportunities for physical presence. The presence, first of all, so we were able, due to this internet service, we were able to avoid collapse of the national economy and to provide online studies on the continuous basis. Based on this information of this, so this for the IT technologies in 2020, there was exceeded more than $39.9 billion. So and this the market share increased by more than 20%. So considering this abrupt spike in the development, we're expecting this rate will exceed more than $600 billion. In all this, so you know that this accelerated pace has become like a shock reducer of all these negative consequences. But at the same time, digitization is developing not quite evenly worldwide, and which has been voiced many times by the UN and other financial institutions, and there is a gap is growing between the developed and well-developed and underdeveloped countries. So the Kazakhstani indexes showed and displayed a steady development and steady growth of the national economy of the republic, and particularly of all the main spheres and sectors of the country. Due to this, we're expecting that in 2020, we just completed the construction of optical fiber lines. We also installed more than 200 mobile stations. It is a very good index of a steady development of the regions in countries. So in about 99% of population have got a full coverage by internet services. So just judge, we can see that we can see that all these challenges that are risk associated with pandemic diseases, decisive measures have been undertaken. So also, there are some very important spheres like cloud storage of data and mobile workflow and online approaches to all this HR administration are being actively implemented. The availability of digital infrastructure has become the most important factor for effectiveness of government support measures during the pandemic disease. So, and social payments were made to citizens without the need to contact government agencies and authorities. So we just covered about 93% of the population in terms of social payments and allowances. So Kazakhstan has been ranked as 29th country among 193 countries in there, according to the UN ranking estimates. So the significant advances in digital adoption has been reported in the private sector. So also the banking sector has also reached very good targets and very good achievements. So you know that you are aware that a lot of attention has been paid to the further development of scientific and educational base in the sector. Also, we are just also paying a lot of attention to the accelerated innovative technologies. We also opened Almaty Astana Hub, which is the center of innovative technologies. So we have got an IT universities and IT schools that are utilizing state-of-the-art and advanced technologies. Based on this advanced and new technologies and new expertise, we also set up a new educational establishment which is quite capable to accept more than 1,000 employees. Also, we set up Almaty University, IT University, that together in partnership with the leading universities and industrial partners introduced a modern intelligent digital university system for accounting and analysis of educational achievements. On the basis, this we also set up this financial center in partnership with the World Economic Forum. This is affiliated center of the fourth industrial revolution, which was launched in Astana. So we intend to continue to increase the rate of penetration of digital services in all the corners and spheres of life of Kazakhstani citizens. So realizing the paramount and significant importance of technologies in the new reality, the head of the country, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, ordered that the current year to be marked by the effective digital of our state. So the government is systematically working on the further implementation of advanced solutions and availability of digital infrastructure, improving the quality of institutional environment for the business in IT and related and relevant industries. So today, we are working on the deep integration of the principles of big data in the work of government agencies. So also, when we're trying to imply new practical applications into this model and to see the main process in the economy. One of the results of this work will be the consistent decrease of the share of the gray economy and expansion of the tax base, which in the current environment is particularly important factor. We are expecting that this year will be 5G coverage will be expanded over the 5 next years. So investment in processing area will increase 6 times, and data storage from 82 billion will grow up to 500 billion tenge. So we are expecting that there will be new working places, new jobs will be created due to the digitalization of the country. So dear colleagues and dear guests of the forum, so the development, adaptation of digitization industry and advanced technologies, the creation of institutional conditions for the development of the private sector, the formation of the high quality and affordable IT infrastructure are most relevant than ever before. So in this context, the government will try to apply a lot of efforts to implement this digitization process and to make all the efforts, to make it more competitive. So with this regard, harmonization of digital information reports is the key to increasing the competitiveness of our economies and improving the living standards of our citizens. I'm absolutely confident that this Digital Almaty Forum will give a new incentive for cooperation and development. Thank you very much. So in Armenia, the digital technologies are the priority and the best, fast and dynamical development sector in the country. One of the engines and driving forces is digitization. So in the country, they set up a special ministry which is particularly dealing with the industry issues and new technologies. So the country has ever just created a special ministry. So, and I just would love to pass the floor to the Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, who is going to highlight these issues and how they implement this project. Thank you very much, dear ladies and gentlemen. I just would love to make my presentation with the words of appreciation and gratitude to Kazakhstan for organizing the regular digital forum. So this forum has become a traditional platform for discussion of the topical issues in the digital economy. So it is quite obvious that the development of high technologies is playing the key role for upgrading competitiveness and security and the level of the quality of life of citizens. The countries that are developing and creating the high technologies are have occupied the leading position in the global arena. The digitization and innovative technologies, but just now undertaken by the Armenian government, are reviewed by the key tool for creation of the efficient and representative system, the system of management, contributing to the favorable conditions and providing safe and secure development and progressing of the country. So when we talk about particularly in the sphere of digital system, so digitization is one of the dynamical developing spheres in our country. In 2020, the turnover of IT companies in Armenia was estimated as more than $400 million. So comparing to the previous year, it went up by 20%. In 2020, the number of staff members increased by 22%. So at the moment, here in our country, we have registered more than 1,200 operating IT companies. So we have provided all the favorable beneficial tax regime for them. And also we carry out an adequate and relevant policy for those companies. Pandemic disease challenged the society, and we are facing a lot of complicated challenges. We have to tackle them in the context of quarantine and complete lockdown. So there was a need to continue working in these conditions, and we had to implement a new managerial culture and to widely use new technologies and to use new solutions. One of the latest issues were extremely significant and were highly demanded by the society. So when we talk about this physical presence, so it meant that it also touched upon the government management and also influenced the economic activity. In Armenia, we have been utilizing digital technologies as a tool for instrumental document turnover and government management. Thanks to this application of the relevant technologies, those who were using social assistance, those groups, vulnerable groups, were were precisely identified. And we have delivered all the required assistance in a very short period of time. We also expect that the policy will be implemented by the government, and there will be data, information will be stored in the system of electronic management and coordination of digital information and creation of the common standard principles. The government is encouraging highly the society and electronic tools that will contribute a lot to application of digital technologies in the private sector in particular. So the current situation with digitalization in Armenia is being carried out with consideration of all this, of the digital agenda of EAS. So we do just now take as a basis the agenda. Also, we try to utilize to boost the exchange of data and to keep contact, and also to provide governmental services to full volume. So I just really appreciate all the efforts that have been applied by our co-partners of other CIS countries for creation of this system. But due to the pandemic disease, that also contributed a lot to transition of this information. But also there was a free transition of citizens of Armenia to Belarus. So Armenia from the first start supported this system that was launched by the World Bank, the digital transition of data. So, I just would love to thank my co-partners from Belarus and other countries for supporting this great initiative. We have to move forward on the implementation of our joint digital projects, utilizing for that purpose the national institutions and the institutes of development. Besides to implementing of our joint projects, we have to apply efforts and to keep going in terms of scaling of all the already available successful projects. There are plenty of them in all the countries. So our purpose and our primary goal is a comprehensive and full-fledged coverage digitization of services that are provided to the citizens by the government. For that purpose, we have to utilize the whole spectrum of digital services, mobile telephones, network services, cloud technologies, and all the other. We have to keep striving to make sure that on the digital level, we can eliminate the boundaries between the governments of the European Asian Council to minimize the restrictions and constraints between the countries. The opportunities that are being provided by digitization are quite available, and we can take advantage of them and utilize them for upgrading and facilitation of transition and movement between the countries. Also, the mobile applications can unite and can integrate the information about the working places all over this EAS Eurasian Council, and also the possibility to fill up all these jobs and also to provide the comprehensive set of documents for the applicable job. I'm absolutely confident that our joint work and exchange of information will contribute to move ahead in all the spheres of digital technologies and to reach successful accomplishments. Thank you very much for your attention.
Большое спасибо.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister.
В Республике Беларусь
In Belarus Republic, a lot has been done for implementation of digital technologies, the transition of data and processing of information. Just this goes far beyond the boundaries. This information goes far beyond the countries. This part of high technologies. So the achievements are being used by other users from other transnational companies. I would love to pass the floor to Mr. Golovchenko. We would love to hear his opinion, his feedback, how in their country they highlight these issues. Thank you very much, dear co-workers and colleagues or the participants of the forum. I just would love to dwell about and to highlight the issues about the current situation, digitization situation in our republic. Also, I would love to criticize all of us for maybe because we got together here on the context of this forum. But the process of integration of digital technologies, penetration in all these spheres is the key issue indicator of change and alteration of the society and the world economy. All the previous speakers have highlighted this issue. It definitely brings a lot of dramatic changes, but also changes the culture and the principles of creation of new culture. But on the other side, it gives new opportunities for having access to new steps. For our country, one of the priorities is transformation, digital transformation, was reflected on the interior and external market. So we can identify it as one of the priorities. We also developed good quality digital platform, which is characterized by good accomplishments. So the number of this broad tape wireless, more than 95%, fiber optical system have been attached to all the households in the country. Also, when we talk about this availability of fiber optical, so Belarus is ranked as one of the leaders countries, front runners. So when we talk about 4G system, so the coverage of the 5G system is also, we are really proud that we have covered half of the population of Belarus. When we talk about electrical connection and all these communication technologies, so this is also, we can see, can be highlighted, can be vividly demonstrated on this in comparison with other CIS countries. In Belarus we have built a very good high-quality IT cluster. In 2020, the export was estimated as 2.5 million US dollars. This is more than 20% out of this, all the total export issues. Pandemic situation the spike of pandemia came out of the blue and was a big shock for all the countries. But still, it was a very good incentive for this remote teaching. Also, we have introduced the system of online work of offices and conducting online meetings, forum sessions. Also, there is a new project of the Eurasian Bank Development, this is being implemented here on this EAS, Eurasian Economic Council territory. Also, other projects of the digital transition or technologies are just now stumbling, so to speak. But there are some economic impediments that were impeding a lot for getting high achievements. But we're trying to pay attention to creating centralized servicing center, which will lead sometimes to the disbalance of getting access to the data. In order to eliminate this disbalance, we have to create to upgrade our services. We have to target and to set forth clear-cut targets and objectives, and to have a very clear-cut objectives. Once we develop the guidelines and the objectives, objectives and the architecture will be able to coordinate and synchronize the pace of work just on the integrational level. For example, integrational system of the Union. In Belarus, there was a decree adopted on this of the national passports digitization. We may manage to do it within 6 months. But at the same time, within the framework of the European Region Council, we talk about the integrated system and exchange of electronic passports between the countries. It can be implemented not earlier than in 1.5 years. So the next example can be the implementation of the project of the digital corridors. 1 year ago, I remember that just 1 year ago, we adopted a decision, a resolution for adoption of this, implementing this idea. But we have just only identified the list of the priorities. So we have to move faster, definitely, and to keep up our fast. The dynamics of implementation of this digital system within the European Union depends on the level of development of each country and the sovereign level of each country and its ability to get integrated into the system. I think that with this regard, the role of the European Council is, first of all, is a great platform for exchange of information between the countries. Belarusian Republic definitely endorses and supports this new initiative. But in the nearest future, in the nearest 10 years, we have to accumulate all the expertise and to be ready to have a shift to the new system, to the new stage of digital transformation. Digitalization will definitely bring our countries to the new step of our economical development, and definitely will make great changes in the area of healthcare, education, and security system. I'm delighted to note that all our countries, the members of the Union, are moving steadily ahead. And it's very gratifying to notice that it's very impressive just to see that in all the countries where I have personal visits, in the Russian Federation, and now I'm here in Kazakhstan, in other Armenia, I was impressed by great projects that definitely will contribute to the improvement of life quality and will make our lives simpler and have transition to this format. Government and citizens will this way will be able to eliminate their constraints and all the impediments that are minimizing the communication between the citizens and the government agencies. One of the joint projects within the framework of this union can be the project of the smart city. Any mega city or any large city in our union has got unique or unified system of management of light, transportation flows, electricity, water, power. All these issues can be resolved due to the multifunctional platforms. For implementation of this project, we need a very well coordinated teamwork. So I'm suggesting this Eurasian Union to carry out the analysis of all the members. So in fact, we have shaped them, and they have been ratified either by the government or by the president or the government. These documents are available, but we have to carry out the analysis and to identify this something just not similar indicators and to undertake measures for our joint implementation and execution of the project. It will be a great synergetic project. So we will try to identify the highest points and also to identify the dates for execution of the project. I would like to conclude my presentation. So we are wide open for any dialogue and for professional exchange of expertise that will definitely contribute and boost this new creation of new projects and for accruing an augmentation of new projects, of joint projects between our countries. Will definitely tackle the digital issues but I would love to reiterate and to highlight that our country is ready to participate and to accept the ideas of our partners regarding the digital transformation. So thank you very much for your attention.
Спасибо, Роман Александрович. В условиях стремительной цифровой трансформации общества перед странами регионов
Given the dramatic transformation of the society, the region faces new challenges with the transition of many business processes online. At the same time, there is a potential for the expediting of the transformation in the EAU. Now allow me to give a floor to the Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, to Mikhail Vladimirovich Mishustin.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Уважаемые главы государств,
Esteemed heads of state and government, colleagues, participants of the forum,
хотел бы поблагодарить
I would like to thank
Николаевича за, как всегда, блестящее
Prime Minister Askar Mamin for
мероприятие.
a brilliant organization of this forum. And this forum is held in a timely moment. It focuses on key challenges of digitalization. It's a very good tradition
Начинать
to begin a year by meeting in Almaty
обменяться
to
мнениями,
candidly exchange opinions on how to put digitalization to good use for our countries and integration processes in the Eurasian Union. A year ago, we discussed in detail the need to unite efforts of the 5 countries of the Union, but we never realized what's going to happen in the near future. And no one could guess how quickly the world might change. And now I would like to show a small video. The member states of the Eurasian Economic Union face challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Last year, the governments of the EAU member states had to make difficult decisions in order to protect human lives. They closed national borders, industrial and trade businesses, social and educational services, restricted travel and human contacts. The main focus was to mitigate infection risks to the maximum. To provide direct access to public services in the online format has effectively become the only way to link people with authorities. In essence, the pandemic was the catalyst of digital transformation in government bodies. The government translates into a one-stop digital platform and provides solutions meeting the most needed demands and expectations. The scope of the Union's goals include building a single market of goods, services, capital, and labor resources, as well as comprehensive modernization, cooperation, and great competitiveness of national economies within the global economy. In order to work towards these goals, we have to promote a joint digital agenda to develop digital services primarily focused on improving people's living conditions and business environment. There is no alternative to further integration today. Only by joining hands will the EAEU member states be able to meet the modern challenges. The governments of the 5, and not only 5, had to take very difficult decisions to close borders, industrial trade businesses, social and education services, to make people self-isolate, restrict travel contacts, and we did all to prevent the spread of the infection, to protect the lives of our people. It was critical to continue providing public services to people without exposing them to infection. In the context of self-isolation, these were the digital conditions which evolved into a social link. This was a new challenge for the government, and we were ready for it. In December 2020, President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, during the meeting of the Supreme Eurasian Economic Council, said, "This year we saw firsthand the crucial role of advanced information technologies in the new context. Thanks to this, we have ensured normal functioning of authorities, all branches of industry, education, medicine. The level of digital maturity of Russian Federation reached by the beginning of the pandemic allowed us to promptly develop and offer platform-based solutions, which were especially in demand at this moment. These new online services became embedded into natural human and business environments, allowed providing digital services independent of a person's place of stay, at home or abroad. Now we have a whole family of digital services dealing with the complexities resulted from the spread of the coronavirus, services which meet the demands of a modern person. Colleagues, we all want to create single markets of goods, services, capital and labor forces within the Union. It is our common goal to modernize, cooperate and improve the competitiveness of our national economies. We fully support the view of the President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, that comprehensive digitalization should become a force driving the development of the EAU. We together must answer the question, what will be its basis? And that's something Roman and the previous speakers mentioned in detail. The pandemic not only accelerated digital transformation, it also made related strategic challenges and threats more grave. Countries deprived of proprietary digital platforms are at risk of becoming data, technology and policy dependent on foreign digital solutions. And here, the Eurasian Union, I fully subscribe to this idea, is there to enable our states to enjoy the benefits of our large economy, while at the same time developing our own common digital platform, determine its shape and retain national sovereignty. Last year, the countries of the Five showed that they want more unity, driven by joint effective measures to counter the spread of the coronavirus, and also the adoption of the strategic directions for developing the Eurasian Economic Union until 2025. The success of implementing the strategy and further integration will certainly be immediately contingent on promotion of a joint digital agenda and implementation of electronic services in our everyday life. This includes building a single labor market, boosting exports, extending production chains. We have to enable equitable and transparent mutual trade, step up efforts in removing infrastructural restrictions by tapping in the transit potential, engage in a dialogue with the European Union too, and to continue cohering the Eurasian integration with the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. This all can be done on a common digital platform only. In practice, we see, let me be candid, a cautious attitude of our partners to digitalization in the Five states. Unfortunately, there are attempts to postpone the introduction of joint digital platforms to retain national rules and systems. This is clearly illustrated by discussions held in the Eurasian Economic Commission on adoption of specifically medicinal drugs registration systems, e-passports for vehicles, that's a topic that has already been covered, and also goods tracing and labeling systems. Colleagues, it is not joint digital systems that threaten our economies and sovereignty, but the absence thereof. If we don't create them in order to ensure transparency of common product markets, this will be tantamount to restoring customs on the borders of our countries, something we moved away from when we created the Union. If we protract digitalization and unification of customs administration and other forms of inspection among others on the outside perimeter of the Union, we will have to return to inspection measures on the inside borders. Our joint digital platform should be focused on improving people's lives and business environment. This is the only way to make people feel the benefits of integration. The digital platform will facilitate the removal of barriers which prevent us from building a single market of goods, services, capital and labor market within the Union. Certainly, it should build on our national interest and the coherence of our data systems. This is the only way to successfully develop our economies together. Colleagues, in order to build a digital platform and to enjoy the benefits of a big data economy, we have to address a whole series of issues. The legal ones, primarily. This is true for legally relevant electronic data flows in the Union, including the exchange of personal data and the protection of this data. We must create and introduce unified digital accounting systems for identifying citizens and businesses. That's something we have seen today. The exhibition Solutions by Kazakhstan, finally to deal with the problem of recognizing the electronic signature. I believe that the Eurasian Economic Commission could take more vigorous steps in these dimensions. Our country faces major challenges, and the Russian Federation supports initiatives by the Eurasian Development Bank to create mobile applications, removing various barriers, the barriers which prevent people caught in the pandemic from crossing national borders of our Union, looking for jobs and get on with their lives in the 5 countries. The offered solutions discreetly treat the issue of cross-border transfer of personal data in compliance with national legal requirements. Whether to connect or not to connect to such platforms is always for a national government to decide. That's a careful approach. Its purpose is to build trust between the countries in order to pave the way, in my opinion, for more bold joint digital solutions. Let me introduce mobile applications created on the initiative of Russia and developed with the fund support. That has already been mentioned today. First, traveling without COVID-19. The second one, work in the EAU. I'm positive they will find popularity among people as well as strengthen ties between our countries. The first application, traveling without COVID-19, starting February the 1st, is available to all citizens of Russia, Armenia and Belarus, and also citizens of the Union in order to enter Russia. From Belarus it's available too. All we have to do is to download a mobile application to your phone, select a laboratory, connect it to the system, offering a PCR test, then take the test, and with the negative result sent directly to the application, fly to Russia. We sincerely hope that Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan will connect to this system in the near future, and citizens of our partner countries will be able to as easily enter Russia using this mobile application. A small video to illustrate. During the pandemic, restoration of ties between the EAU countries has become a priority of the Digital Initiative Fund of the Eurasian Development Bank. In order to fast-track the opening of borders and resume free travel, they have developed a user-friendly mobile application, Travel Without COVID-19. Now, a QR code allows citizens to travel during the pandemic without interruptions. To become validated as a person free from virus, you only need to register in the application, add your passport of your photo, specify the countries of departure and arrival. The application will offer the nearest coronavirus test laboratory based on the user's geolocation data. Test results will be sent to the application as a QR code. It can be easily shown on your phone screen when required by monitoring authorities during your traveling. More and more countries connect to our digital platform and application. They are compatible with similar projects for unimpeded travel throughout the world in the new realities. Digital technologies bring the post-COVID life back to normal. I would like to thank our colleagues Nikolai Podguzov, Mr. Sarkisyan, for such quick work. And the second application, which we have discussed in detail during our meetings, Work in the EU, helps finding a job in the 5 states. This is a one-stop service designed to find employment options and formalize the requirement documents, including medical insurance. It will also help finding accommodation. We hope that the uniform facade of the mobile application will unite national segments of our digital migration systems. That's something we have already started working on in order to facilitate entry. I think it's going to be a really great seamless service for all job applicants in our countries. And as a result, virtually every issue related to working and staying in Russia could be addressed before moving and without sometimes fraudulent intermediaries. We intend to finalize the service early next year, and we hope that other states of the 5 will join in. Then we will truly create a single labor market of our union, as written in our key documents. The next video, please. A single labor market is a clear achievement of the Eurasian Economic Union. Citizens of the EAU member states can be employed in every country of the Union. In order to take advantage of such opportunities, the Digital Initiative Fund of the Eurasian Development Bank created a mobile application, Work in the EAU. Now, you don't need to understand complexities and requirements of local laws, which means you don't have to contact friends or intermediaries, whose help sometimes led to fraudulent or illegal practices. Now, processes of moving to a different country or employment can be arranged in one mobile application that allows in a remote format formalize a permit and documents and get a job. No intermediaries, all done easily, smoothly and transparently. All you have to do is to go through a simple online registration using your passport and start using the application. The application specifically allows searching for jobs and getting services required for entry before crossing a national border. It also generates a citizen's digital profile, enabling to store and retrieve a whole set of documents, and also automatically submits data to relevant authorities. The digital ecosystem work in the EAU is designed to streamline the processes of moving to a different country and employment.
Уважаемые
Colleagues,
дорогие коллеги,
friends,
хочу сказать, что мир вошел в
the world has entered the digital age, the fourth industrial revolution. Today, industrial digital platforms form the basis for the growth of economies, implementing them. For businesses, the top 20 businesses with the biggest capitalization are digital giants accumulating data. They create digital platforms. That's a topic covered by every speaker. And I believe that the digital platform of the Union will enable us to improve the efficiency of our own work, and it will also create a strong foundation for the Union. Thank you.
Большое спасибо, Михаил Владимирович.
Thank you very much, Mikhail Vladimirovich.
Переходя к следующему спикеру,
And now, moving on to the next speaker, I would like first and foremost to congratulate Ulukbek Asimidinovich on his appointment. I'd like to tell that this is not first time in Kyrgyzstan Republic has been taking measures to introduce innovative technologies and digitalize the internal business processes of government agencies for a number of years. For a more detailed look at Kyrgyzstan's digital agenda, let me give a floor to the Prime Minister of the Kyrgyz Republic, Ulukbek Asimidinovich Maripov. Dear Mr. Oskar Uzakpavich, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, on behalf of the government of Kyrgyz Republic and on my own on behalf to thank all the participants of this forum and thank Kazakhstan for hospitality and hosting this important event. The digital transformation is engulfing the whole world, and a new source of long-term economic growth is the data which encouraging changes within the competition on regional and global level. Kyrgyz Republic is taking active measures to create comfortable environment for development of and doing business, as well as the environment for social activity when introducing digital technologies and forming a transparent digital society. Today, the specific steps to create the digital transformation environment of all sectors of the economy, as well as the legal framework, have been created. There are activities of digital transformation of fiscal and custom authorities, as well as the transition of public services to digital format and digitalizing them in terms of governance. Today, we created the database and information environment with the main accent, with the main focus on the social environment and healthcare, which demonstrated its efficiency during the pandemic. We plan to ensure the maximum inclusivity for people with particular needs, as well as the projects of creating digital assets and the environment for the development of digital trading and ensuring the rights of the entities in terms of the privacy. The improvement of digital technologies is the key element of state policy and encompass all the digital priorities and the development priorities of our country. Dear colleagues, every country of the EU has achieved particular results in every specific sector. Nevertheless, to establish the digital space of the Union, we need to develop the common projects to ensure the free transition of goods and people, to provide for the transition of the commodities, as well as the functioning of efficient instruments and tools for fiscal monitoring by creating the institutions of digital economics and digital assets, development of digital ecosystems, as well as the stepping up the global cooperation at various levels. Dear colleagues, I think it would be viable to create the permanent platform for the representatives of digital industry, of digital markets, of Eurasian Economic Commission and union members. We need to provide all the measures to support digital initiatives aimed at developing the integration. At the same time, it should be noted that there is a pressing issue of cybersecurity and privacy and personal data protection. In this regard, there is even more pressing need of international cooperation to combat such crimes. The developing of the countries in terms of regulating the digital sphere should not be barriers for common grounds, for cooperation. We need to address cyber security matters given transnational nature of cyber threats. We need to develop the national potential in cybersecurity, information exchange, and best practices involving all the stakeholders of the society to create a wide range international cooperation. Dear participants, dear colleagues, to conclude, I'd like to know the rational cooperation and joy in overcoming the barriers will contribute significantly to the economy of a particular state and will increase the scale of international cooperation. I believe that all the matters and initiatives raised during the forum will be implemented and will promote the strengthening of the foundation of our cooperation to reach common goals. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lubek Asimedinovich. And now, moving on to the next speaker, I'd like to know that Uzbekistan is the most populous republic in the Central Asia region, with an annual average population growth of over 600,000 people. A comprehensive approach for the accelerated transition to the digital transformation of the regions and entire sectors of Uzbekistan's economy, accordingly, is primarily aimed at creating new jobs and improving the quality of the education. Let me now give the floor to the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Mr. Aripov Abdullah Nikmatovich, to familiarize with the forum participants with the digital agenda of Uzbekistan. Thank you. Dear Askar Zakpavich, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, let me express my gratitude to Kazakhstani colleagues to take part in this forum to discuss the relevant issues of digital technologies development and their impact on our daily life. As already mentioned in the context of the ongoing pandemic, given the environment, digitalization, and the growth of national economics, upgrading of industries and development of social spheres are really important. On the behalf of the President of Uzbekistan, Mr. Mirziyoyev, by 2020 the strategy Digital Uzbekistan has been adopted, which provides the implementation of 280 projects of digital transformation of regions and sectors of the economy. Our digital agenda provides for the resolution of the key issues. First, providing fast and acceptable and accessible internet to the affordable internet to the settlements, which our colleagues already mentioned. Today, all the kindergartens, health facilities, as well as around 8,000 schools, which is 80% of all, have the high-speed broadband internet access. Today, this year, we plan to connect the remaining schools and ensure internet connection to all of the citizens. There are around 10,000 particular citizens. For the development of the infrastructure, 2.5 billion USD are provided, are envisaged. There will be 2 big data centers in Tashkent, Bukhara, and Kakan. And the development of the communication and telecommunication networks and mobile broadband. One of the results of these measures will be the possibility of getting connected the households in every settlement with a minimum speed of 10 megabits per second, with at least 10 megabits per second. The next thing is the development of the e-government. Today, in the single e-government website, more than 300 e-services are provided. Using this platform, more than 30 million services have been provided. Since January 1st, ID cards have been launched. According to that, the population is given the electronic digital signature and the access to the single website, government website of electronic services. We and our partners provided the labeling system of tobacco and alcoholic products, and with effect from next year, we will provide the labeling of pharmaceuticals, potable water, and other commodities. Given the lessons learned from pandemic, this year we will expand the digitalization in the healthcare, finalizing the introduction of e-hospitals and telemedicine. We will be also focusing on digital transformation in banking sphere, including the automated managing systems and finance technologies. To digitalize the agriculture, we are intended to attract more than $600 million aimed at developing the modern agro technologies and innovative solutions. The third is the staff training, personal training in IT. Our country adopted the particular IT education program aimed at developing a new system of vertical training. If you allow me, let me demonstrate you a short video dedicated to our IT education approach. The most precious resource in information technologies is the high speed and high professional personnel. The population of Uzbekistan is 34.5 million people. In 2020, 1 million Uzbek coders have been provided to provide the free education of IT skills, IT coding skills, attended by 130,000 visitors. The specialized IT schools which provide the enhanced educational training and foreign languages. These schools will train 20,000 graduates. 120 educations are used where modern technologies are adapted and incubation centers are launched. Education IT centers are being set up in the schools in the Republic, which provides 107 curriculums. And today, 84 training centers have been provided, where more than 85,000 listeners have trained, where people can open up their potentials as startups, as freelancers and founders of IT companies within the branches of IT parks, which are available in every corner of the country. Until 2028, IT companies have been given unprecedented tax benefits based on the principles of extraterritoriality. The ongoing reforms in the field of education is to create a unique digital ecosystem where every person can self-realize in the IT sphere. Thank you. At the same time, in the Republic, along with the Tashkent University of Informational Technologies, which has 5 branches and regional representatives. The sixth one will be opened this year in the Tashkent region, and branch of Moscow State University and Inha Korean University started its educational activity in Almaty, India, and Webster, USA for IT specialist training. In general, we face the goal to improve the quota by 2025 of the higher education from 5 to 15,000. The fourth is the development of IT industry and digital entrepreneurship. The country increased the demand in digital services, and the growth space doubled, and the users of paying systems increased by 15% of the country. So in the coming perspective, one of the priority goal is to increase the share of digital services of GDP twice. In order to reach this goal, as was noted, the Republic opens IT parks whose residents are given a range of tax preferences. As particular attention is given to the youth and the development of their startups and projects. Every region launched the program 100 Ideas of the Youth. Dear participants of the forum, I'm confident that the implementation of the priority goals are not possible without cooperation of our colleagues and partners. In this regard, we are intended to have active partnership, experience sharing, and cooperation through expanding dialogue and implementation of joint IT projects at the same time by creating the common digital approaches based on the best practices. Thank you.
Большое спасибо, Абдулла Нигматович.
Thank you very much, Abdullah Nighmatovich. And now let me move to Mr. Mysnikovich, Chairman of the Collegium of the EEC. Mikhail Vladimirovich, how far digitalization affected the work of the EAU in this difficult 2020, and what key priorities does the EEC see in Union's digital agenda?
Dear heads of the governments, the participants of the forum, it's obvious that Almaty Forum is a high-profile platform for discussion, bringing up very topical issues in terms of digitization. And today we were able to listen to a lot of constructive proposals and suggestions. I would love to express my thanks to the government of the Republic of Kazakhstan, to the city management for organizing this high-profile event. I just would love to highlight a few issues on the ways of their elimination. Pandemic disease revealed all the problems of integration and demanded a lot of solutions to be taken prompt and to be very bravely. Digitization has become an actual mechanism of management system, and also it displayed itself from the other side. So what conclusions we have made? First of all, the Eurasian Council, we made a decision to implement more than 80 processes of integrational system. So about 19 out of them have been hooked up and have been attached. We made up a mind for improvement of our system of work. So we have got about 40 general processes. We developed the technical projects and plans for their implementation. The majority of them are just at the phase of testing. So we also are preparing the architecture for integrated system. So we also will be required also to have an equivalent system to be done of the national systems, informatization of the members of the EEUA, to bring these up issues, particularly the ones that have not been resolved yet. I would also appreciate all the prime ministers and the heads of the governments just now for taking the relevant measures and to issue the relevant assignments to their departments just now for resolution of these issues. The second, last year in December, we also developed the strategic plan of this integrational system up to 2025. So it contains 11 key points of strategic development development, and all of them are based on the digital platform. So one of the directions and trends, which is number 5, it envisages the creation of the fundamental principles for ecosystem, such as the system of marking, the commodities transition movement, the system of trust, the system of territorial digital platform, which includes national segments and integrated components. So the system of integration in the area of intellectual services and artificial intelligence also. Of course, we will take into account all the recommendations that have been provided by the heads of the governments. Eurasian Economic Commission will be appreciative for all the feedback, ideas, recommendations, advice that you will provide to make our work more efficient and productive. At the Eurasian Commission, we work just now. We are ready to accept ideas. We need ideas. And also, you know that a Eurasian Economic Union, we have got more than 17,000 enterprises that are owned by our partnership and partners with our partners. The majority of them are located in Kazakhstan. The second is the largest number is located in Belarus. So commercial banks are more successful in the CIS countries. At our commission, we consider that industrial and innovative companies will be very proactive with this regard. So the president of the country, Mr. Tokayev, in his January presentation and address to the heads of the governments, he highlighted the key issues as industrial collaboration and digitization. One of the priorities that were highlighted by the president and by Prime Minister, by Mr. Mamin, were the holistic centers. Also, Belarus has offered to have a full-fledged launch of ecosystems and the transportation corridors. So we are working very actively on this development of the comprehensive approach to these issues. So we have got intellectual and industrial potential capabilities to implement these tasks. But coming back to the industrial collaboration, the Commission has also identified that at the Eurasian Council we have a certain interest for implementation of a project for a cumulative project, which will exceed more than $1 billion. So the majority of the projects can be referred to integrational projects. So as a result of my consultancy services provided, so in Belarus, together with Mr. Golovchenko and with the first Prime Minister of Kyrgyzstan, Mr. Novikov. So we have developed very good ideas. So in fact, we have to reinforce our institution to set up new enterprises, new industrial facilities that will keep the demand, that will meet the demands of the internal market. Also, the idea of the real forum is the platform for solution of actual problems. We have to develop a very comprehensive and professional approach and to identify our priorities and to define our tools. Also, I would love to draw attention to this, to the collaboration and to the address of Mr. Putin for the need to develop Eurasian economic, just within the framework of this union, to develop the program for the boosting of high technology enterprises. Also, Mr. Lukashenko, according to his address, he just now highlighted the need for just creating this platform for the economic enterprises. So I think that the suggestions of the participants of the forum will enable us to develop certain clear-cut resolutions that will be really multifaceted, and first of all, will complement the ideas that have already been defined. I'm sure that our work will be productive and fruitful. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. I just would love to pass the floor to representatives of business communities. Mikhail Azarovich, I would love to extend my congratulations, Kaspi KZ, for being listed on the London Stock Exchange. So a lot has been done and on the digital transformation and the upgrading of this investment attractiveness. Also, the users really love you. You are really customer oriented. So totally can dwell and highlight the information about Kaspi KZ. Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister and the forum guests. I just would love to share digitization, innovation ideas. We believe that innovation will upgrade the quality of life, the quality and the standards of life, and will make sure that citizens can use them. They have to be really top quality. And I just would love to showcase this small video.
Мобильное суперприложение Kaspi KZ стало неотъемлемой частью современной жизни.
The mobile system application has become an integral part of Kazakhstani lives. They have been set up to upgrade the life of our favorite customers. The applications of Kaspi KZ, Kazakhstani citizens can get loans to make payments for commodities without leaving their houses, or to make wire transfer. It can be easily done in a jiffy. So applications of Kaspi KZ are really handy, convenient. So the store of Kaspi KZ is a great commercial platform, which can provide more than 1,000 commodities. They can be delivered to you on a free basis. And Kaspi QR can allow you to do contactless access to commodities in more than 50 stores. Due to the availability of Kaspi KZ application, we have gotten more than 9 million customers. Kaspi KZ is an application #1, which is a front runner in Kazakhstan. So this is a very unique system which you have developed here in Kazakhstan that will improve the lives of our favorite customers. So our unique business model that we have developed, if you look at all the services that are available in our system, that exceeds more than 500 services that are available for the household. For example, wire transfers, purchases that can be done with no fees. So electronic stores that are also integrated into our commercial system. Kazakhstani citizens can make purchases and have free deliveries of commodities to their households. So due to the great opportunities to develop the new technologies and to invest, we give access to our partners and to innovative technologies. We have got more than 20,000 partners. These are medium and small sizes business representatives. We also provided such services for personal management of cash, just now to get loans from banks, to have payment, to issue payment cards. We also, the government services online, which in partnership with the government we have developed and the Ministry of Digitization, we have launched this unique project that will enable us to make the life of individual entrepreneurs much easier. When they pay taxes, everything can be done within one framework or one application, which has got no analogs in the world. So Kazakhstan is the front runner in terms of the front rankers in terms of the mobile applications. So, and due to that, everything that's done online, and so therefore our colleagues and our co-partners, our associates, we are acting as engines and driving force that moves ahead and keeps the country go ahead. So the pace and the rates of growth of these wireless transactions is absolutely unprecedented. And Kazakhstan's example is really absolutely a phenomenal example. You can see just the rate of the customers grows rapidly. So a number of wire transfers and cashless transactions has grown up. So you can see the 4.6 trillion tenge. That is, the increase was rated as more than 29 times. So Kazakhstan is one of the front runners, one of the dynamical development markets in the world. So you can see that the change. So the base of this wire transfers or cashless transfers enables us to carry on these transactions very fast, very promptly. So the share is really unprecedented. The share of this cash or cashless or wire transfers is really unprecedented. We are expecting that in the nearest future, the share of this wire transfers will be amazing. And expecting that by 2021 and 2022, this number will go dramatically. So when we talk about this innovation of innovative technologies, we try to delight our customers and to bring some benefits for our clients. We teach our students on this example on how this unique and innovative company can be set up here in Kazakhstan. We do everything for the benefit of our favorite clients and customers. We just also we applied a lot of efforts to make our company more attractive, and we were listed on the London Stock Exchange. Thank you very much.
Очень круто, Михаил Нукзарович. Поздравляю.
It's really impressive, Mikhail Zarich. And now I'd like to give a floor to the chairman of the board of directors ERG, Mr. Alexander Mashkevich. Alexander Antonovich, as the founder of this great organization, how do you assess the prospects for digitalization of the post-pandemic world? Dear Excellencies, Your Excellencies, dear Prime Ministers, our company is called Eurasian Group, and this is quite symbolic because our today's forum is an Eurasian forum. Our company operates in 15 countries. In Kazakhstan, we have more than 60,000 employees. And if we refer to the company as an employer and company socially responsible for people, we are socially responsible for 500,000 people in Kazakhstan. It is indeed that digitalization is developing rapidly, and 10 years ago such classical ore mining company as ours seemed to be like we will be flowering indefinitely, but we understood that technical giants will also come to mining and industrial sector. The World Economic Forum suggests that the digitalization of mining industry, the cumulative effect will be from 300 to 400 billion USD in the coming 7 or 8 years. That's why when you have more advanced digital platforms and financial resources than the metal and mining industries, I believe that the world's mining giants will merge and acquire these companies. That's why we have decided to make our company fully technological. In these 3 or 4 years, we are investing 2 billion USD in digitalization of our company only. We are moving in an important area, and the important sector is cobalt. The cobalt is a metal without which you will fail to manufacture batteries and accumulators for cars, for mobile phones, and we are the second worldwide producer of cobalt, and in the coming time we will construct the plants and in the industrial sectors for the production of batteries, and we want to occupy an important share of the market, which is 1.5 trillion USD market in battery sector. Another area where we are moving in, and this is the creation of ecosystem in Kazakhstan, which is called I2. And once we started developing it, people believed that it was not possible because it's not possible to create a new messenger. These services are competing with each other at a very high level, but internally in our company we created a rule. There is no word impossible in the vocabulary of our company. That's why I'm really proud to say that the ecosystem in Kazakhstan is working well, and daily 5 million Kazakhstani people are using digital apps and services of our company. And I can proudly say that when the government decided to pay the benefits to people, 16 million Kazakhstani people came to our service. We received 16 million applications to our service, and we provided all the Kazakhstani citizens with these benefits. Our ecosystem is socially oriented. This is the important point, this I would like to stress, with the only purpose to make the life of Kazakhstani people more comfortable and better. Digital services take an important role in our platform, and this is the goal of our company. This is their purpose, to make life of our citizens better. We are using the digitalization, the technologicalization of the company, if I can put this word in the right way. Today we are creating the universal database, starting from the mining exploration, then we are moving to the intelligent mining pit, and then to robotized equipment, then unmanned drones, high-tech metallurgical processes, logistics, and delivery to the producer. Today we have the big data, the database across the whole supply chain, and when an intellectual device provides us data, we don't feel like it happened just 5 years ago, but around we feel like it happened 100 years ago, and there is no other way of doing that. And let me just take this opportunity to see the prime ministers here in this forum. I'd like to set a number of issues for us as industrialists. The fourth industrial revolution is not possible unless a stable and high-speed internet is available. The data from the Prime Minister of Belarus are impressive, but I'd like to take that for telecommunication giants construct the fiber optic cable only where the traffic is, but we need to be frank to ourselves. The statistics is optimistic, but in settlements and rural areas there is no fast and stable internet. That's why there should be a question raised on liberalization of the market and construction of the fiber optic cable and communication. We need to set an issue on the possibility of on allowing a private company to construct wireless and cabled communication. Another thing I'd like to raise to the heads of the states is the question about the data, because the companies are investing huge sums of money to preserve their data, to secure their data. But today there is a backward process, there is a closed circuit which does not allow to share data. That's why I think it's quite relevant issue of the law on data. This law, this regulation will preserve the data safety on the one hand, and on the other hand, it will encourage companies to motivate enterprises, which will boost the process. And as a first step, I propose to create interstate laboratory of industrial data, and on our behalf, we are ready to provide all information you needed. If all mining companies of the Eurasian Economic Union gave data to this industrial laboratory, I'm confident we would track the trends faster, we would exchange our insights more rapidly, and it would provide to the whole array of the Eurasian Economic Union to move faster and to be more competitive with world giants. I'm confident that the Eurasian Economic Union has a great future. A huge work has been done. That's why I'd like to call on all the participants to provide for a more integrated, rapid work. I'd like to wish everyone great health, prosperity, and to move always just forward. Thank you very much for your very specific proposals. I'd like to thank all the participants and for your attention. Yes, Mr. Yeah, we heard a lot of proposals, and we saw to what extent the digitalization enters in all the spheres of humans' life. And pandemic, of course, quote unquote, contributed to these processes. But this is a fact of life, and we cannot deny it. But all of us feel like the insatisfaction of the processes that are taking place now. So that's why I have a proposal to provide an impetus to give a dynamics to the development of digital projects on the territory of the Union, to make us more competitive, to make our economics competitive, and to raise the revenues of our population, of our citizens. That's why I'd like to propose that the center of the competence that we created in the Eurasian Development Bank to strengthen its possibilities and its capabilities, and all the proposals that there were mentioned, to provide it to the Center of Digital Competences, which we created. So this is the proposal, to provide the authority to these competence centers. Maybe we will express ourselves. I just told to Mr. Oskar Zakpavich that it will not be possible to create a platform without this development center. And of course, we will accept all this as per the agenda of our Commission's work. But I'm not in the position to give the assessment, but the work of our colleagues allows us to have a deeper look of what we have achieved on the acknowledgement of the electronic digital signature and the great number of matters that have been raised. And I think that this competence center can be supported. And this idea was born on this platform, and it would be really nice that every one of us could express ourselves. Yes, indeed, colleagues. I just made a picture of a slide which Mr. Vladimir Mishustin demonstrated in his report. There are 5 global challenges. Unless we overcome them, we will not be able to implement any breakthrough project. Single identificator of citizens, single identificator of business entities, a single digital electronic signature. The acknowledgement and the conscience that these matters must be addressed will allow us to move further. And we need to create the actions plan and to understand how we will address every single portion of this work, every single milestone. That's why this work requires harmonization of our business systems, and if it is created on the Viabra as a competence center on its facilities, as far as I know, they are trying to define the mandate of the bank and the strategy of the bank. So this way, this solution, this proposal will be reflected in the mandate and the strategy of the bank that shareholders should approve. So these are the instructions, I believe, in this regard. So I fully support your initiative. That's it. I believe that the Eurasian Development Bank has already created a project Travels Without COVID-19, and we need to discuss this proposal and take a decision. Dear Mr. Oskar Zakpavich, you were right by mentioning an important issue. When we have a look at all these technological processes, I believe that all of us should support, when it comes to Viabra, COVID-19, we fully support all the initiatives, all the proposals. Thank you. And now Let me summarize briefly our forum. We have discussed many initiatives today. We have a great deal of work in front of us. I'd like to wish everyone a successful year and, most importantly, good health. Stay well. Thank you.